With the stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy.
President Trump delivers for the American people, for you, again. The winning hasn't stopped. The University of Pennsylvania, one of America's most woke institutions, bends the knee to the president, agrees to strip transgender swimmer Will Thomas, who likes to go by the name Leah, of all records and ban men from competing in women's sports. Hallelujah. I'm Daniel Cohen. You're watching the Real Life Network.
The university will be sending a personal apology to every female athlete who was forced to compete against a man.
The best moment, that was the Secretary of Education, Trump's cabinet member, Linda McMahon. And you heard it. You don't need me to parse it. You don't need me to explain it to you. They're apologizing. Finally, you may be thinking, finally. It took years to get to this point. But this is what happens when the righteous are in power. Proverbs 29:2. It's in the Bible. It says that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And when the wicked rule, the people groan. Boy, has there been a lot of groaning these last 4 years. Hasn't there been? Across the world, not just in America, everywhere. So let me tell you the backstory, and let's talk about what happened here. The Trump administration threatened to cut $175 million in federal funding to Penn unless it stopped the madness, the insanity. It's insane. Men competing against women. Stop. What do you know? What do you know? The purse strings, suddenly Penn discovers that what biology is. Oh, okay. So men and women shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. Got it. We got it. Okay. Riley Gaines, the brave Christian woman, former elite swimmer for Kentucky. She didn't ask for this to become her fight, but the fight landed at her doorstep. And what an incredible champion for the movement. She stuck her neck out there for years when it was, boy, talk about swimming upstream, really hard, right? She tweeted this image, and you can read the caption there. It says, UPENN has agreed to right its wrongs, restore records to the rightful female athletes, and issue an apology to the women impacted by the man that they allowed to compete as a woman. And then she says, are pigs flying? God bless real Donald Trump. God bless President Trump. Absolutely right. Absolutely. I'm thrilled for Riley Gaines. You should be thrilled for Riley Gaines. If you have daughters, if you have granddaughters, if you have nieces, you should be thrilled. I'll put that back up. I want you to look at the photo here because it's really important that you understand what's going on here and why she shared this picture. This is Gaines and this is Will Thomas, again, who likes to go by the name Leah. They tied for 5th in the 200-yard freestyle in a race in 2022. Exact same time. Exactly the same. An incredible feat when you think, look how much bigger he is than her. He's over 6 feet tall. Think about his wingspan. Think about the physical advantage that he has and that Riley Gaines tied him down to the 10th of a second. I say, well done, Riley Gaines. So the NCAA, they gave Thomas the trophy. They looked at this and they said, for optics, they were like, we're going to give Thomas the trophy. So, but wait a minute, Daniel, she's holding a trophy as well. She's holding the 6th place trophy. They told her, you take this one, he'll get the 5th place trophy. We're going to send you your tied for 5th place trophy in the mail. What a slap in the face. I really admire Riley Gaines. Boy, what a role model for women, for girls. I have 2 daughters that are athletes. One's a gymnast, one's in cheer. My girls, who we are raising to be Proverbs 31 women. Isn't that your goal? If you're a believer, don't you want your daughters to grow up to be women? Noble character, virtuous. Riley Gaines, that's who I hope my daughters aspire to be. Not Kamala Harris, not Michelle Obama. Ugh. Gaines loves the Lord, and just like one of my favorite Bible verses, Colossians 3:23, it says, whatever you do, work at it as working unto the Lord, not men. Be excellent. Be the best. Riley Gaines was an elite swimmer and had to share a locker room, share a pool, had the snatch taken from her after all the hard work. I love her heart. Listen, here's Riley Gaines just sharing her heart and her love for this incredibly difficult sport. This is from 2023.
It is a sport where you don't get time off. At the collegiate level, I was in the pool 6 hours every single day. It's a huge time commitment. There's so many sacrifices that are made. Growing up, you don't get to go to sleepovers because you have practice in the morning.
Yeah.
You don't get to go on spring breaks because you have meets. You don't get to go on vacations. You miss proms. You miss all the school and stuff. So there's so much investment that goes into it. And so to be at that moment at such an elite level and to lose out on opportunities because a mediocre man couldn't hack it with the men.
Bingo.
And then transitions and wins national titles on the female side, it makes a mockery of what we do.
Total mockery. A total mockery. A total mockery. Let's be clear. I love that. You know what I heard? Did you guys hear what I heard her saying? I didn't hear her complaining. I heard her laying out the reality of the sacrifice and the years of sacrifice that it takes to be a champion. You want to be a champion? You want to be great at anything? Guess what? It takes hard work. It takes discipline. It takes dedication. And while Riley sacrificed all those things that she sacrificed, Penn forced her to undress in front of Thomas in a locker room. Thomas took a trophy that belonged to her. I mean, records, destroyed records held by women. And now Penn is writing an apology letter to every female athlete that was wronged. It's great. It's poetic. It's justice. This is justice. And they're restoring the record books, by the way. They're adopting biology-based definitions of male and female. I mean, I heard that. I was like, wait a second. Careful, Penn. Rational parents might actually consider sending their children to your university again, right? And we have to point out, the only reason that this is happening is because of President Trump. That's it. I'll remind you, do you remember when Kamala Harris actually bragged about changing the law in California so that taxpayers, my home state, California, taxpayers would have to pay for prisoners who are confused about their identity so that they could have procedures to make them feel more at peace in their bodies. There's no confusion with how God created them. But here's Kamala Harris talking about, bragging about what she did for trans inmates. Listen.
When I was Attorney General, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, and there was a specific case, and when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She called it medical care. What medical care? There's nothing wrong with the body God gave you. You aren't in need of medical care. You're confused. You need prayer. But you don't need medical care. That's not what this is. I'll just say, boy, America, we dodged a bullet. Really dodged a bullet. That leadership matters. I want to connect something else because it's really important. So stay with me here, okay? I want to shine a light on something going on in Brazil under their leftist, Israel-hating government. And there's a mother. I want you to take a look at it. You can see her name is Regiane Chicilero, and I apologize if I butchered her last name, but she's a Christian mother in Brazil, and what she's saying here in this video, she's speaking Portuguese, but she's saying she's being prosecuted for homeschooling her 12-year-old son. She started homeschooling during COVID. Everybody was homeschooling during COVID. I mean, the Zoom calls, please. Disaster. She continued homeschooling him. She decided, which is her right as a mother, that she could provide a better faith-based education than the public school in Brazil could even dream of providing. In Brazil, there's a gray area. Homeschooling isn't recognized. It's not technically illegal, but then again, they're prosecuting this woman. They fined her $20,000. They're threatening to take her son away. The law says from the age of 4 to 17, you're supposed to be enrolled in some type of some school in Brazil, not homeschool, not recognized. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, Daniel, that's Brazil. What's the big deal? That's not in the United States. That's not in my front yard, backyard, my neighbor's yard. Well, yeah, actually, if you think that can't happen in America, I want you to listen to what the Chicago Teachers Union President Stacey Davis Gates just said at the City Club of Chicago. She quotes a philosopher named James Baldwin and then mocked you. She mocked conservatives. She mocked Christians in a high-pitched, screechy, squealy voice. I'm just warning you, for you believing that your children are your children. Listen.
Baldwin says the children are always ours.
Always. Yes. Always.
Every single one of them, all over the globe. And what comes next is, CT, you think your children are its children. Yes, we do. We do.
Sorry about that. Sorry. I don't know what that was. God won't be mocked. You shouldn't stand around and shouldn't expect to be mocked. These people work for you. They work for us. They work for you. Your taxpayer dollars paying her salary. Friends, the modern left. The modern left. We know more. We know better. We'll teach your kids better than you can. Your wants, your wishes, your desires, your faith that is deeply personal and guides every decision that you make in your life, from who to marry, whether to take a job or not. It shapes everything. The modern left, not important. Sit down, shut up. Even the scientific principles that God lays out in the Bible. He created men and women in his image. Not a mistake. Immutable characteristics down to the chromosome level that cannot be changed. No matter how many surgeries you have, no matter what makeup you put on, no matter what physically you do to your appearance, you cannot change how God created you. You're perfect. Maybe you need to hear that today. You're perfect. But the disregard for intelligent design, for God's fingerprints on all of creation, it comes from the same poisonous root. I want you to listen to economic historian Thomas Sowell. He summarizes this warped leftist thinking perfectly.
When Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village to raise a child, and someone said it takes a village idiot to believe that.
That's so good. I had the same reaction. Same. To the left, the nuclear family is a threat to their power. I'll say that again. To the left, the nuclear family is a threat to their power. When Hillary Clinton said it takes a village, she really meant it takes a government. They want to be the village that raises your child, because children who learn independence, that their identity is in Christ, that they're created for a purpose, that God created good works in advance for them to do, to be people of faith, to love your neighbor, the biblical values, basic biblical values. If you believe that, typically you're not going to grow up being dependent on the state, depending on lawmakers, depending on a party to give you. That's the truth. It's a demonic ideology that says the state is God. God isn't God, it's the state that's God. Parents, you're just the temporary caretaker until we can shove you out of the way and we can take over. I want to show you the Brazilian mother again. Here she is. Again, she's speaking Portuguese, so I'm just going to tell you. She says, all parents have God-given rights and obligation to make choices that provide the best outcomes for our children. You can see the words there on your screen again in Portuguese, so that's why I was talking over it for you. She's not just 100% right. She's biblically accurate in what she just said. Psalm 127:3, it says, children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Not a reward from the Chicago Teachers Union in the squeaky voice. Not a reward for, not the property of the Brazilian government. A heritage from the Lord. Under President Trump, sanity is being restored. Under the left in Chicago, in Brazil, we're seeing attacks on the family continue. This is what I voted for. Sanity. Restoration of the righteous in power. I didn't say perfect. He's not perfect. No man is. But don't get comfortable, believers, Christians, evangelicals, Jewish. Don't get comfortable. The battle for your children, they're your children. You have to shepherd them. Whether it's protecting girls in sports, defending parental rights, the battle is not over. It's one thing the left is here for. It's the long game. They never quit. You can't either. Be praying for God to raise up more godly leaders, godly lawmakers, more Riley Gaines, more Region Cicilero. Pray for parents, for grandparents that are willing to stand up for biblical truth. What a day. What a victory. From Israel, for the Real Life Network, I'm Daniel Cohen.